Sent from Disneyland, history in our hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, and Ben and Noel Bruning, B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has a Jungle Cruise dock with guests loading aboard one of the green and white striped canopied Jungle Cruise boats. You can see the start of the construction of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse in the back, and if you look closely on the left, you can see a Jungle Cruise boat coming in with a green seat cushion leaning against the rails of the boat. On the back it reads, Jungle River Cruise. Brightly covered riverboats leave the Adventureland dock, the last outpost of civilization, and enter the mouth the Irrawaddy River for an exciting trip down the rivers of adventure in Disneyland. It's postmarked March 2nd, 1963, with the Glendale cancel and a 4-cent Lincoln postage stamp, Scott number 1036. I assume they visit the park on Friday, March 1st, 1963, when park hours were from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The weather was a high of 76 and a low of 46. Park attendance that day was 4,284. It's addressed to Miss Norma Frederick of Dola, Ohio. It reads, Hello, we were out to Disneyland Friday. All of us. Harold was down here. Charlie is feeling much better. Don is here, and they're all going home today. I am working some. It was 75 degrees yesterday. I just got word that Harry Bow died last Sunday. We had a nice day Friday. We rode on this boat and lots of rides. Edith and Ralph. Continuing our tour into Disneyland through mailboxes, let's head into Adventureland for the one Adventureland mailbox. Although it is currently next to the Adventureland Bazaar, let's walk past the Bengal Barbecue and to its original location. Looking at a photo from 1957 on Dave Landweb, the green mailbox previously was attached to a stump close to this location. This would have been the dead end of Adventureland until the addition of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse and New Orleans Square. This mailbox would have been convenient for guests enjoying Magnolia Park, which was the end of the original Adventureland until 1962. I'm not sure exactly when the mailbox was moved, but it may have moved during the construction of the treehouse or the addition of the Sunkist, I presume, which both opened in 1962 in that area. These additions would have required more space for guests to line up for jungle juleps, and the need to remove the stump the mailbox was attached to. Sunkist, I presume, would eventually get a refreshed menu, rethemed look, and renamed Bengal Barbecue in 1992. Looking at a guidebook, the mailbox was moved at least before 1987 to its current location on the east-facing wall next to the exit of the bazaar. From there, you could see the Tahitian Terrace, which is now the Tropical Hideaway, the entrance to the Jungle Cruise, which has been in the general vicinity since 1955, plus the addition of Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye in 1995. The bazaar has changed over the years from being individual shops run by third parties to being a themed store for the last 50 years. Now let's walk back to the hub and down Main Street to the mailbox next to the oldest store in Disneyland. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following the EP Sunday Sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to enfieldpost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has Mickey Mouse leading the Disneyland Band down Main Street, past the Emporium. In the background, you can see the omnibus and Sleeping Beauty Castle. And to the left of the band is a Disneyland mailbox on a light pole. On the back it reads, Mickey Mouse and the Disneyland Band. Led by the Magic Kingdom's #1 character, Mickey Mouse, the famous Disneyland Band marches towards Town Square, where daily concerts and flag ceremonies have become a cherished tradition. It's postmarked July 12, 1976, with an Anaheim cancel and a 9-cent Capitol Dome, We Hold These Truths, postage stamp, Scott number 1591. I assume they visit the park on Friday, July 9th, 1976, when park hours were from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. The weather was a high of 87 and a low of 67. It's addressed to Mr. and Mrs. G. Melrose of Castro Valley, California. It reads, July 9. We are now in Anaheim. Our plans have altered somewhat, and we will be in San Francisco on the 14th or 15th. Now you should be standing in front of the Emporium at 101 Main Street, USA. The over 400 square foot Emporium is the largest retail space in the park. Designed to look like a turn-of-the-century department store, the Emporium takes most of the blocks between Town Square and the Carnation Cafe. The largest change this mailbox would see is the Emporium windows, which would have changed in 1969. Prior to this year, the windows were designed to look like the 1900s window displays of various goods and merchandise that would be available at the time. Some of the windows on Main Street still have this design concept, and some also have current merchandise available in the stores next to the Victorian-style displays. Starting in 1969, to promote the re-release of Peter Pan in theaters, window displays of various scenes from the movie using puppets, artwork, and some animatronics replaced the original designs. This tradition continued through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts. Known also as Windows of Enchantment, many new and re-released Disney animated features had handcrafted displays to promote their movies. Notable films I could find include 101 Dalmatians, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Robin Hood, and Bambi. In 2011, Disneyland used a combination of original window figures in a collage of window displays. This included characters from the previously mentioned windows, as well as Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White, Pinocchio, The Jungle Book, The Rescuers, The Fox and the Hound, Aladdin, Lion King, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Mulan, Tarzan, Pocahontas, and even Pixar's Ratatouille. Since 2015, guests have experienced more immersive and technically wondrous windows for a variety of newer Disney movies like Moana, Zootopia, Frozen, Princess of the Frog, as well as Toy Story, Aladdin, Peter Pan, and Cinderella. Looking across the street, the mailbox would have seen more changes. The corner lot was originally the home of the Wurlitzer Music Hall from opening day to 1968. Then the Legacy of Walt Disney exhibit from 1970 to 1973, followed by Disneyland Presents, a preview of coming attractions, until 1989, and since then it's been the Disney Showcase, although the exterior of the building is designed to be the Main Street Hotel. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has a bronze and rust-colored Space Mountain. Below is the logo for the Imagination Institute. It's postmarked April 14, 2026, with a Santa Ana cancel and a brain coral with 2 eels forever postcard postage stamp, Scott number 5910. I assume they visit the park on Monday, April 13, 2026, when park hours were from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. The weather was a high of 68 and a low of 45. It reads, 4/13/2026. Hello, Clocky. I too love Disney, and was digging in my stash of postcards to see if I have anything. Here I have Space Mountain, back when it was painted copper bronze, and still has the Imagination Institute attraction, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. So likely this picture within 1998 and 2003. Hope you don't have this one. Happy postcrossing. Thank you so much for the postcard, Mai. I was laughing when I received it because I was sending out postcrossing postcards on Tuesday from Disneyland. I decided this trip to take photos of the postcard on the mailbox from where I was sending it to register that image on postcrossing. It was a little extra work, but I think it's fun to know exactly where the postcard was mailed. I assume this Tomorrowland-themed postcard was sent from either the Tomorrowland mailbox or maybe one of the mailboxes on Main Street, USA. I'm preparing to head out on another trip down, and hopefully we'll have some more postcrossing addresses to send to on Monday. I also enjoyed all the Mickey ears that you put in your handwriting on the letters. I counted at least 95, as well as the red Disneyland Resort rubber stamp you had added for some flair. Happy postcrossing, and I hope one day we might cross paths mailing postcards from the park. I also downloaded the episode you guested on Rise and Run to listen to on the flight down on Monday. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sent from Disneyland or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah.